statutes of your fathers, neither observe their judgments, nor defile yourselves with their idols. I am the Most High, your power. Walk in my statutes, and keep my judgments, and do them. And hallow my Sabbaths, and they shall be a sign between me and you, that ye may know that I am the Most High, your power. Notwithstanding, the children rebelled against me. They walked not in my statutes, neither kept my judgments to do them, which if a man do, he shall live in them. They polluted my Sabbaths. Then I said, I would pour out my fury upon them, to accomplish my anger against them in the wilderness.
So we understand that by polluting the Most High Sabbaths come a curse, which led to our downfall. So, everyone out there, regardless of what we believed in the past or whatever we've been taught, just think about it. If they have our records and know that this is the means to our downfall, who in this earth of the Gentile persuasion religiously would teach us how to keep the Most High Sabbath? Why would it be in the Gentiles' interest, as far as the government's concerned, to have us keep the Sabbaths? And I'm not just speaking from the Christianity standpoint. The Christians, we all know, compromised not the people in Christianity, but the institution of Christianity. Not just I'm not talking about the people who go to church. They just don't know any better. But we know the institutions in the 4th century under Constantine changed the Most High Sabbath to Sunday. Told the people that Christ rose on a Sunday. Therefore, we are to institute that and observe the first day opposed to the day that's written of in the Bible. So we're not talking about just the total outright blaspheming of the church and excluding the Most High Sabbath and claiming that Christ says it's okay to make the first day your Sabbath. We're talking about Jewish people now who on face value appear as if they're keeping the Torah and the Sabbath. They also profane the Sabbath, and they will never tell us how to follow the Sabbaths according to the Most High, which is his holy days. Now, here's an example of polluting the Sabbath. I need you to go to 2nd Esdras in the Apocrypha. No, go to Wisdom of Solomon real quick. Wisdom of Solomon 14. No, give me 2nd Esdras. Get 2nd Esdras. It shows the times. That's what I want. Yeah, right there, 14.
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
2nd Esdras, chapter 14, verse 10.
Go ahead.
For the world have lost his youth.
Before that, start at the first verse.
2nd Esdras, chapter 14, verse 1. And it came to pass upon the 3rd day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of a bush over against me, and said, Esdras, Esdras. And I said, Here am I, Lord. And I stood up upon my feet. Then said he unto me, In the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and talk with him, when my people served in Egypt. And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt, and brought him up into the mount of Zion, or Sinai, where I held him by me a long season, and told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times.
And showed him what?
The secrets of the times.
So Moses was showed the secrets of the times. Read.
And the end.
And the end. Go ahead.
And commanded him, saying, verse 6, These words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide. And now I say unto thee, that thou lay up in thine heart the signs that I have showed thee, and the dreams that thou hast seen, and the interpretations which thou hast heard. For thou shalt be taken away from all, and from henceforth thou shalt remain with my son.
Thou shalt remain with my son, read.
And with such as be like unto thee, or be like thee, until the times be ended. Verse 10. For the world has lost his youth.
For the world have lost its youth. So here it is, the Most High is showing Ezra how old is the earth. It's not 100 million years ago. It wasn't a billion years. So now, if you can calculate what he's showing you here, you would understand how old the earth is today. Read.
2 Ezra chapter 14, verse 10. For the world hath lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old. Verse 11. For the world is divided into 12 parts.
That means from the time of creation to the consummation is 12,000 years. Read.
And the 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of a 10th part.
So here it is. This is 500 years before Christ. Half of 10th is 500 years before Christ, where he's speaking to Ezra. And when Christ comes, future tense from this scripture, that would be the 10th part. The 12th part will be 2,000 years from the time of Christ's birth, which calculates flawlessly to 2007. 2007 was the real millennium that began the third day, in which we're living in the 13,000th year. We just went past the 12,000th year a few years ago. Now the Most High have allowed us to be able to go into the scriptures to not only calculate up until the point where we are, but also the years going all the way back to creation to date by using the scripture. So even though it tell you in Daniel the 7th chapter that they would think to change the time in the laws, by us getting back the Sabbaths in the correct time according to the Most High, and ignoring what they have done, we were able to calculate and be on the right cycle and understand what the Sabbaths are. Okay? Sabbaths are not determined by the moon at all. Read.
2 Ezra chapter 14, verse 12. And there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part. Verse 13. Now therefore set thine house in order.
Go ahead.
And reprove thy people.
And correct the people. Read.
Comfort such of them as be in trouble. And now renounce corruption.
And now we must renounce corruption. Hold that now. And that gives an example of polluting the Sabbaths. I need you to go to the book of Jubilees. And the reason we're going to Jubilees is when we showed you in Ezra that the Most High showed Moses information, some to tell the people, some to hide from the people. Jubilees was a record that was actually kept in the ark of information that the Most High gave Moses to hide. And it's amazing that this is part of Jewish literature today. Now, if Jewish people have this literature, then why aren't they calculating the holy days and the Sabbaths based on the information the Most High gave Moses? Listen to this clearly. I need you to go to the book of Jubilees. We're going to start at the first chapter in the first verse.
The book of Jubilees, chapter 1, verse 1.
Go ahead. Hold on. Let me make sure they can hear us clearly and we're not too low before I go into this. Go ahead.
Jubilees chapter 1 verse 1. And it came to pass in the first year of the exodus of the children of Israel out of Egypt, in the 3rd month, on the 16th day of the month, that the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Come up to me on the mount, and I will give thee 2 tables of stone of the law and of the commandment.
Okay, so this is clear. The Most High speaking to Moses, showing information that you wouldn't normally see in the first 5 books of Moses, because the Most High told him information to hide. Now, Jubilees is a record of reasoning from the time of Moses. He went back and showed him creation up until the time of what the Bible called the consummation, or the time of Christ's return. Now, he showed him this record in Sabbaths. Jubilees is 7. So he showed Moses the beginning up until his time to the consummation in Sabbaths. Now, some people might ask, well, if Moses was showed the time and we have these records, then we would know when Christ would return. Absolutely false. Why? Because Christ even said himself that the time will be cut short. So the time of the consummation that was showed Moses, Christ will cut short, because he said if he didn't cut it short, no flesh would be saved. So those that are operating on the left-hand side under Satan understand these records too. So they use this information to calculate how long they would have to destroy us. So Christ, for our sake, like it tells us in Matthew 24, will shorten the days. So no man know the day or the hour. I need you to go to the 50th chapter. I went to the first chapter originally so we can see this is Moses at the mount. What mount? Mount Sinai. And I need you to keep a record of that, because the Sinai time is how you calculate the time of the earth in the new year according to our time today. It never changed. So make sure you make a marking of that this is the Most High speaking from Sinai. Now, this is something deep when it comes to Sinai, because the coordinates and the information that you must put in is from the 33 degrees. The 33 degrees within the earth is the perfect equal point around that links into the whole earth. And everyone would like to just point it to the pyramids, but it's deeper than just the pyramids. It's a point in coordinates from east to west where the Most High revealed information to his prophets. And from those coordinates, you will understand the year to year. And I'm going to prove it to you. Let's go to the 50th chapter. You there? And let's start at the first verse, showing how one would pollute the Sabbaths.
The book of Jubilees, chapter 50, verse 1.
Go ahead.
And after this law I made known to thee the days of the Sabbaths in the desert of Sinai, which is between Elim and Sinai.
Go ahead.
And I told thee of the Sabbaths of the land of Mount Sinai. And I told thee of the Jubilees, of the Jubilee years, and the Sabbaths of years. But the year thereof have I not told thee, till ye enter into the land ye are to possess.
Now let's make this clear, and I want to make this clear because usually when we talk about Egypt, most people think of pharaohs and think of the power of the Egyptians, which were Noah's sons. Erase that. Why? The coordinates of Sinai and that area of Egypt that we speak of Sinai, was a pinnacle part of creation before